And we are back to the Navigator 10GB fiber third Hong Kong esports tournament, and last game between PIPICOOKIE and Pinpingho was exciting.
Yeah.
Do you think so?
Yeah, I think so too. Pinpingho win by his Druid, and it is a pretty dominating win for Pinpingho. I would always love to have that start against Hunter, but with Druid.
That's true. What do you think PIPICOOKIE will pick against Pinpingho's Druid this time?
Well, PIPICOOKIE still have his warrior and his shaman deck left, so maybe warrior, the patron warrior, is a very good against Druid, because Druid doesn't have any board clear like the flame strike of mage and the other AoE damage. So
yeah, the only one he got is swipe, right?
Yeah, and the swipe is actually helping the patron warrior because it deals 1 damage to all other minions except the major target. So I would expect to see a patron warrior here, and I think that if he... Oh, it's actually a shaman.
Yeah, this is the first shaman deck we see in these 2 days.
And he has got a pretty good start too. He can play Zombie Chow into Harvest Golem and into Pharaoh Spirit. So it will be hard for Pinpingho to clear it out.
Yep, it seems like he's gonna keep all these cards.
Yeah, wow, and Pinpingho has got a good start too. So we will see the skills between these 2 players in this match. So,
in the first round, he played out his
Chow?
Zombie Chow. Yep.
Yeah, Zombie Chow is very good for an early drop for Shaman because of the tempo, and a Wrath already
On the Zombie Chow.
Pinpingho.
Yep.
He doesn't want PIPICOOKIE to build up too much of a board pressure. That's why he plays the... He just Wrath it immediately. And for PIPICOOKIE now, he can play the egg. Yep. And he can use the Flame Tongue Totem to buff it up and get
Suicide.
another 4/4 next turn.
And it seems like he's going to place a Shade of Nazarimus.
Yeah. So...
Yeah,
another
with the
Pharaoh
Pharaoh Spirit.
The board of PIPICOOKIE is pretty good now. Wow, this is a pretty good top deck for Pinpingho. I think he will keep off the growth the egg and use the 3/3 to kill 2/3.
Yep, and with the silence, the egg is kind of like a useless minion on the board, and he just have to wait.
But PIPICOOKIE can still buff it up with a Flame Tongue Totem. That's why almost every shaman deck use an Nerubian egg now.
That's true. And it seems like he's thinking if he should use the Shade to trade his wolf.
Yeah, I think he should use it to trade. Otherwise, if PIPICOOKIE keep building it up, or he placed the Flame Tongue Totem in the middle of 2 wolves, it will become 2/4/3, which is much harder for...
Oh, actually he dealt 2 damage to the wolf instead of silencing the egg. It is an interesting play by Pinpingho.
That's pretty interesting. He wants to get more board control, and he thinks that PIPICOOKIE doesn't have anything to clear him. Or rather, you can say that Pinpingho has calculated that even if PIPICOOKIE used the Flame Tongue Totem and kill the 3/1, he can use his Keeper of the Grove plus hero power to
kill the totem.
But for now, Swipe is a pretty good choice here.
Yep, and he cleared out the board.
Well, Swipe is not really the best card against Shaman, because usually Shaman, in the Shaman deck, the minions have 2 or 3 health at least. So Swipe against Shaman is usually good when it is comboed with Azure Drake for the 5 damage and 2 damage to other minions, or in the situation like the last turn, you just kill the 4/4 and do 1 damage and kill the Flame Tongue Totem.
And the Zombie Chow is placed by Pinpingho, and now it's PIPICOOKIE's turn. What do you think he will do? Do you think he will place out the Golem?
This is definitely a control shaman, so he may want to keep getting the board pressure, building up his board, and not going to face too soon. Because for a control shaman, you would like to have a many minions on the board that Druid cannot clear them. Because Druid only has a swipe, as we said earlier, that if Shaman has built many 2/3s or many minions on the board.
Yep, and he is gonna crackle the Azure Drake and use the Azure Drake to clean the minion.
Yeah, and he can also play a spider now.
With the
board
coin.
It's pretty fair for Shaman.
For
And they still have
PIPICOOKIE.
2 hashs left. That if Pinpingho play anything big, he can just hash it.
Yep, definitely. And it seems like Pinpingho is gonna place his Agent of Lore and draw 2 cards from that.
Yep, and he's got the Dr. Boom and the Savage War.
The Salvage War is a good card in my opinion, like against Shaman, because
Yeah, because he wants to just rush Shaman down with his combo. But now that Shaman has built a board, it is harder for Pinpingho to get better board control.
definitely, and PIPICOOKIE still got a 5-point taunt in his hand, and it is really hard to clear his board at this point.
An Earth Shock. He may use the Earth Shock now immediately because the only situation that he can use an Earth Shock on Druid is on his Sylvanus. Other than that, and part of the Shredder, there's no other options for no other situations for Shaman to use an Earth Shock on, so he may just use it on the board.
He's gonna use the Defender to make the 2 totem taunt and kill the bomb.
Yeah.
And he is gonna use Earth Shock
Earth
too.
Shock. And the has definitely. Because for Druid, his only big minions are Dr. Boom actually. And all the other minions are like Ancient of Lore is 5/5, Low Fab 5/5, Druid of the Claw 4/6, so this is pretty definitely a hack. And it is pretty mana efficient for Shaman.
Yep, and there is 9 drop with an in rates in his hand. Do you think he will put out the... Oh, he's actually doing the low fab.
He will put out as many minions on the board as he can to get better board control.
But all he can do is put out the Druid of the Claw with the taunt at this point. Wow, and an 8 drop minion.
Yeah.
It really seems like PIPICOOKIE has an upper hand at this point. Like, he can just place out the...
Yeah, he can just place out the
or the 8 drop. Yep.
And this is... I think this is still pretty fair for both of the players, because Pinpingho has another Ancient of Lore in his hand that he can has 2 more card draws, but PIPICOOKIE doesn't have any card draws in his hand at least, and his values are not as good as Pinpingho's value on his hand. So we'll see what they draw in the next few turns.
That's true. The next draw will be a key to see if PIPICOOKIE or Pinpingho is gonna win this game. And he's gonna totem and haunt the creeper at this turn without attacking any minions.
Yeah, the low fab into the sludge voucher is almost a must. So Pinpingho will leave his well, I think he will play the 7, the Ancient of Lore first for more card draw and more options later on. And let's see what he draws after playing that.
And he is actually placing the Ancient of Lore and draw 2 cards again. And at this point, Pinpingho really have an upper hand with 5 cards in his hand and so many high drop minion on the field.
Card draw is really important in this matchup. Unlike last matchup, in the Hunter versus Druid matchup, the tempo is everything. But although the early tempo is still important in the Druid and Shaman matchup, the card draws in the middle of the game is still very important because of the because in the mid game, if you draw more cards, you can have more options to play later on, and you can keep playing the huge minions.
Definitely, and it seems like PIPICOOKIE now is trying so hard to clear Pinpingho's board, but I think the Ancient of Lore still cannot be cleansed, so he decided to face Pinpingho.
It's pretty unfortunate for PIPICOOKIE that the Ancient of Lore isn't cleared, so he can just use the Ancient of Lore to kill the 3/5 next turn.
Actually, he had the option to clean it, but he had to sacrifice his 8-drop minion and the spider and also the taunt, so it is not a fair trade.
He can play the Druid of the Claw now.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think he needs to be afraid of the AoE of PIPICOOKIE, because he just used his last card in the last turn, so he knows that the card on PIPICOOKIE's hand now is a neutral, and this is a good top deck for PIPICOOKIE.
Yep, the Black Knight.
Knight.
Destroy an enemy with taunt, and it really changed the game at this point.
This is, well, a very good draw for PIPICOOKIE.
But still, his hand, he doesn't have any minion or spells at this point, so I think Pinpingho still have an upper hand compared to PIPICOOKIE.
Well, we are not sure about that now, because PIPICOOKIE, if he draws his Doom, his weapon, he may just keep going to face and win Pinpingho by surprise. So
But Pinpingho still have 2 Salvage Roar in his hand, so there is so much damage in his hand already. Like, it is 2, 8.
and another top deck,
Wow.
the Earth Shock. Oh my god, PIPICOOKIE is actually having a pretty good draws today. A Black Knight into a Earth Shock. Both of them are situational cards, and he draws them right in the best timing.
Moment, yep. And let's see what is the top deck of Pinpingho. It is a 6-drop Emperor.
Emperor Frozen. So he will definitely play it now.
Yep.
And clear the 1/1.
And that is so...
So this game is pretty drawn out now. And yeah, the Druid always have an upper hand if he draws the Ancient of Lore early in the middle game. And he did it and draw the Ancient of Lore in the middle game. That's why he is having some card advantage now.
And PIPICOOKIE got the Defender, and he can make...
Defender of August.
He can either make the spider and the totem.
He can use his the 2/2 to kill the 3/2, and force the Emperor Frozen to kill his totem, so his other minions can keep going to the face.
That's true, and it seems like he got the Wild Roll.
What will he draw?
Let's see what is the upper. What is the top hand of it? It's
Oh,
Acidic Swarm.
another card to kill the weapon.
Man,
I
he
think
is gonna
he'll
use
play
Salvage
one
Roar
of it now.
with the hero power to clean out the totem, so he don't need his Emperor to attack that totem.
Yeah, because he
Save it
already
for the
have the
face.
Acidic Sword Oath now, so he can use his Harrison Jones to just for the body, 5/4 body, because he knows that PIPICOOKIE has no hand and he cannot clear them out, so he can just play on the board.
And PIPICOOKIE plays out his Shredder that he just drawed.
Pinpingho has 16 damage now with his Savage Roar, which is not enough to end the Shaman. So, wow, and the top deck.
The control,
Mind
control attack.
So,
What will he get?
Oh,
Oh, that's sad for him. But still, with the Salvage
Yeah.
Roar, it is 2 more damage. So in next turn, he may actually be able to kill PIPICOOKIE.
he don't have to save it now because he wants to end it in next turn. And the draw is a Narubian egg, which
That's
is
sad.
not good.
Yep, if he cannot clean it out, and I think he cannot, he may actually die in the
Wow.
next turn.
Yeah, I think he's already dead now. Pinpingho has 11 damage plus 10 damage, which is
Selfish
21.
roll.
Yeah,
And I think that's the end of the game in next turn.
yeah. So this is the victory for Pinpingho.
And he
He
got a
cannot
swipe.
top- yeah.
Wow.
He cannot top deck anymore.
Yep, and congratulations to Pinpingho winning the second game, and we will see if he can win the third and win this round. What do you think?
Yeah.
I think Pinpingho's Drew deck is really strong. Do you think so?
Well, I think his deck is strong, but also his skill is very strong too. When there are a few options, usually against all other decks, Druid has many mid-game minions like the 5 cost Druid of Claw and Azure Drake. You always have to think about which one to play in that exactly situation. So I think he chose the best option in when he has many choices at that moment. That's why he comes out on top of the game.
And that's how you win a Hearthstone game. And we will see you guys after the 5-minute break, and we will see the last matches between PIPICOOKIE and Pinpingho.